Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart to all my subscribers who keep watching my videos every single week. It really does make me happy whenever you guys leave comments and appreciating the videos and showing love. It really just means the world to me. With all that out of the way, let's get into One Piece's Wano Arc Act 2. As of this video, I just want to say that I've officially caught up to the One Piece manga, and I can say without a doubt, and this arc isn't even done yet, that Wano is the best One Piece arc in my honest opinion, toppling my previous favorite arc being Water 7 and Enies Lobby. Starting from where we left off last week with Luffy being in prison with Kid, this act is essentially the recruitment phase of this arc, and man does it have incredible moments. Starting off in the prison, we see that the prisoners here are mainly citizens who once rebelled against Kaido and Orochi, which makes for prime suspects to draft them for the rebellion on the night of the Fire Festival, if you know what I'm hitting at. They're worked to the bone every single day, and in the prison is one of Kaido's main henchmen, Queen, who is actually kind of hilarious. I love his intro and his amazing lyrics to his song where he says he'd lose all this weight, but people would like him then so much. So yeah, honestly, I kind of like his character. While everyone on the outside is going around trying to find the Kazuki members who served Oden before his death, we get a lot of focus on Zoro hanging out with a really interesting character who can't stop smiling and being happy, named Yasuie from the Ibizu village, who we will definitely touch more on later. After Zoro's introduction, we then get introduced to another important character, Kamerasaki, who works under Kyoshido in the Pleasure Hall and is later found out to be none other than the sister of Momonosuke, aka Oden's daughter. Yeah, no, the revelations in this arc are honestly crazy at times, and I just love it. Back to the prison, we now see that Luffy is helping this little old man who cannot work to feed himself, and Luffy basically saves his life multiple times. Well, it's a good thing he did, because we then find out that this little guy, seemingly helpless old man, is none other than Hyogoro the Flower, who ran the Yakuza underground back in Oden's prime. Yeah, even more revelations, and this isn't even all of them. We now cut to Big Mom's ship, yeah, Big Mom, as she's entering Wano to take down the Straw Hat crew, but Kaido is not having it, and he has his man King knock over Big Mom's boat on the way up, basically causing her to fall into the ocean, where she then washes up on the same exact beach that Luffy did. And what do you know, she runs into Chopper and Otama, but not as normal Big Mom, but Big Mom with amnesia, because she fell so hard, so now she's actually sweet, and she helps them out big time on the prison escape, but we'll get to that later. Back to the prison, we're now starting to get things going. Luffy, protecting Hyogoro from being killed, is punished alongside him and is put in a battle to the death against all the prison keepers by Queen. Luffy and Hyogoro are then cuffed with a device that chops their head off if they leave the ring, which they'll have to fight everybody in this ring. And these are the same devices that we saw used on Kami back in the Sabaody arc, which is the one that Rayleigh destroyed with his hands using his haki. Luffy absolutely destroys everyone easily while protecting Hyogoro using his haki. We then pan over to Hiyori, who is in Orochi's castle because she is his favorite woman to talk to and she's the Oiran. And as you notice, by the way, this video is basically me going over 3 sub-arcs in this act, just like how Oda did it, because I feel like it's the most effective way to tell this story, like he did. Anyways, the scuffle breaks out in Orochi's castle due to Toko laughing at Orochi, who we find out is Yasu's daughter, but more on that later. Hiyori protects her from being killed, but in doing that, Kyoshido seemingly kills Hiyori, but he didn't actually kill her, and we'll get to that later, because that is interesting, probably next video. Hiyori and Toko then make their escape and run into none other than our boy Ronin Zoro. What follows is one of my favorite Zoro fights ever, as Hiyori is caught by one of Orochi's men who chased her from the castle, who we find out is Killer, by the way, from Kid's crew. Another revelation. But anyways, Zoro protects Hiyori in this incredible and gruesome sword and scythe fight, to where at one point Killer lands a really critical blow on Zoro, piercing him through the chest. And of course that's not enough to stop Zoro. He smiles with like this crazy demonic look on his face, and using his Purgatory Onigiri move on Killer, it takes him out instantly and ends the battle. And man, I love this fight. The clip I'm gonna play will do it justice, because my words alone can't describe how incredible this fight was. We then cut back to the prison where Luffy is training while fighting all these people. But what he's training is him trying to learn how to use the outward haki, which is where he can land a blow on you without even touching you, like how Rayleigh used to do. As the fighting keeps going, the sub-arcs begin to collide because some huge force breaks into the prison while Luffy is fighting for his life, and guess who it is? Big freaking Mom. She goes on this huge rampage looking for all the sweets and even fights Queen, and not just fights him, but destroys him. While all of this is going on, Luffy is forced to attempt to use his outward haki because he's about to be taken out of the ring without even his choice. So he uses the haki to break the chains on him and Hyogoro like Rayleigh did, and he actually does it because of the high stress situation that he was put in. After this, Big Mom is hit with a surprise attack, and she then regains her memory because she took a blow to the head. But Queen wraps her up in sea prison chains before she wakes up, and they all leave Udon prison, leaving Luffy alone with the prisoners and some of the prison keepers. Now, before I move on to what happens next, I want to go over a heartbreaking scene that happened while the prison mess was going on. The man I referred to earlier, Yasuie, who could not stop smiling, was actually a very smart man, as he saw that Kinemon's plans were being leaked to Orochi because of a spy in the Kozuki clan. He turns himself in essentially to make it seem as though the uprising was something made up by him as a joke. He's then put on this really tall pole for all of Wano to see. Even the people of Ebisu, where he's from, watch him, and as he's hung on this pole, he doesn't stop smiling, and neither do the people of Ebisu, which makes you wonder, why is everyone so happy, smiling, and laughing? We then find out he was the old daimyo, Lord Yasuie, yes, another revelation, who was a really big supporter of Oden and helped Oden big time back in his prime. And he helped the original rebellion against Orochi. He tells everyone the plans were a joke and it's all made up, and he lets everyone know how much of a coward and evil person Orochi is. And finally, as he's up there, he's then shot for everyone to see. When he dies is when things really just break my heart. We then see that Toko, who also smiles uncontrollably, the one that Hiyori saved back in Orochi's castle, is his daughter. But when he dies, she's smiling and laughing harder than ever before, screaming that her daddy is dead. And I'm honestly getting just chills thinking about this scene. And as usual, this did make me tear up, and it broke me inside, when all of Ebisu was just laughing at his death and smiling. We find out that the reason for this is because they were all forced to eat the smile fruits made by Caesar all the way back in Punk Hazard. It seems as though when you eat the fruit, it doesn't always give you powers or like the animal side effects. If it doesn't work on you, it then just leaves this lasting effect on you that's uncurable, that just makes you smile and laugh forever, with no cure, thus it being called the smile fruit. Truly, more than ever now, I want to see Luffy and the gang destroy Kaido and Orochi. Getting near the end of the act, we get a really powerful scene where Luffy and Momonosuke are able to get everyone in the prison to join their cause, and we find another Kozuki member who was in the prison this whole time along, and his name is Kappa, who he's the one who watched over Hiyori before Kyoshido got her. Then back to Onigashina, we see Big Mom and Kaido making amends, and they make an alliance that literally makes them the most unstoppable force, as there are now two Emperors of the Sea helping each other go after the One Piece. Back to our crew, because Zoro saved Hiyori from Killer, Hiyori gives him her father Oden's sword, Enma, that makes Zoro more powerful than ever now, because what this sword does is it essentially increases his haki output. We then pan over to Luffy, who officially learns how to use his outward haki, and we see him using it on a tree, and as soon as he finally learns, we just see a big old smile on his face, and bang, that is the end of Act 2. Next week, in my Act 3 video, we're going to go over the amazing Oden flashback and finally get to the raid of Onigashina. Next week will, and I hate to say this, it'll also be my last video, unfortunately, covering One Piece's arcs, and it's really sad to think about it because this journey with you guys has seriously been so fun, but it's mainly because I don't want to go too past where the anime is. I'm caught up on the manga, but I don't want to get past the anime because I don't want to be spoiling people on stuff, but I'll tell you guys more on what kind of content I'm going to be posting after next week's video covering Act 3. Like last time, the day this video is uploaded, I'm going to stream again where you can all ask me any questions you want and we can literally talk about anything. I'm going to be playing Pirate Warriors 4, so if you want to come by and say hi, I'd totally appreciate that. If you made it this far, thank you very much for sticking around. It honestly means the world to me that anyone even cares about what I'm saying. But other than that, I love you all, and thanks so much for coming to Jack's Corner, and I'll see you all next week in Wano Act 3.